Okay, we're starting to see some people come in. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Hey, Tina, how are you? Nice to see you again. Hey, Chris, nice to see you again. We will get started. And you guys know the drill that are on. We're live on Facebook. We are recording. You will notice that there is some document. There is a document in the chat that you can download. Amber has asked us to download, or to ask you guys to download if you'd like it. You're more than welcome to download it. She will be talking about it. We still have more people coming in. Hey, Sherry. Hey, True. Nice to see you guys. Feel free to put in the comments where you're calling in from. And just a few logistics before we start. Well, first of all, if you don't know me, my name is Renee Roberts. I am founder of Nourish to Live RX. And I work with men and women over 40 and help them sleep better, have more energy, and just feel amazing. So I have a Facebook group that is being live streamed into, called Fabulous Over 40. And welcome everyone. If you want to ask questions, feel free to put them in the chat. You can ask in the Q&A box. Or if you want to come on and actually ask a question live, feel free to raise your hand and we'll bring you on and you can chat live with us. So I would like to introduce to you our guest speaker for this evening, Amber Jenson. Thank you for coming. Amber is a certified life and health coach and speaker, helping busy professionals finally take some me time without feeling guilty so they can get their energy back and feel happy again. So with a background in human resources, a master's degree in psychology, and experience with many energy techniques, including a certification in Reiki, Amber has a keen sense of human behavior and habit change. Amber loves being in nature and hiking with her family. So welcome, Amber. It's great to have you tonight.
Thanks. I'm so excited to be here and just go through all of this with you guys. So for those of you that are just hopping on, get into that chat real quick and see that there is a document. It's called Permission to Put Yourself First, and we are going to be using it tonight. So it's going to be helpful if you have it. You can print it real quick. You can pull it up. It's an editable or writable PDF, so you can actually take notes right in it if you want to. And I know you won't hear this very often. Have your phone handy, turn it off, like have it silenced, but have it handy because there's some things that we're going to be doing and it's going to be better to use your phone than it is the computer, and because we don't want you to like accidentally log yourself out of this because it's really important. You're here for a reason. Okay, so yeah.
Go ahead. I'm going to, it looks like the people who joined after you uploaded can't see it. So you go ahead. You can, I can have a copy so I can actually put it up real quick.
Can you? Okay,
I'll
great.
put it up a few times in case people join. So you go ahead. You can get started. I'm going to give the floor to you.
Thank you. I'm so glad that we have both of us to do this, right? So that we can do it. So yes. I am just going to encourage everybody, make this a quiet space for you. Give yourself the permission of time. It's only an hour. It's only an hour. Everything else is going to still be there when you get done. Have some water, like be comfortable. And most of you should be familiar with like the little raise your hand type things and stuff in the chat box. So we're going to be using some of that as we go. So it's interactive. You guys are going to be doing stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and we will get started. So let me just get myself organized and away we go. Perfect. Okay. So you're here. Permission to put you first. It's going to be some simple strategies for creating balance in your life. Who doesn't need that, right? So the first thing I'm going to say is I have a little disclaimer because I am not a medical professional. So nothing that I'm talking about is medical advice. It's not nutrition advice. It's not meant to take the place of your doctor, not diagnosing anybody. We're just talking about some strategies. So that is my little disclaimer for you. And now we can move on. So remember I said have your phone handy? Here is what we're going to do first. I just want to know, how is everybody feeling at the moment? Just a few words. So you're going to go out to www.menti.com. So you're going to pop out to www.menti.com. I encourage you to use your phone so that you don't accidentally get yourself out of the webinar here. And I just want you to give a few words of how you're feeling right now today. Where are you at? Are you feeling happy, tired, stressed, alive? Like, what are you feeling? So I'm going to give just a minute while people are doing that. So again, it's www.menti, and actually I can put it in the chat here.
I just did.
Awesome. See, you're so awesome, Renee. Thank you. I have to remember that you are on top of this. So go ahead and then use the code 4931707. It might take a second. So 4931707. And just go ahead and tell me how you're feeling at the moment. I'm going to give it just another quick minute to see if it starts to populate. You know, the internet can sometimes be slow, so we're just going to see what's happening here. Is anyone having troubles? Maybe I should ask that. Is anyone, oh yes, perfect, thank you. Somebody got it, a little tired. Yeah, great, thank you for sharing that. Anybody else, how you feeling right this moment? Let me know. Good, tired, relaxed, awesome, good. Yeah, keep it coming. It's kind of fun to just see how people, it doesn't tell who's saying it, right? We're not going to call you out and be like, oh, Amber, you're the one who's tired. So don't worry about that. Neutral, great, well, okay, good, great, perfect. Well, we'll let that continue to go. So as people come on, they can go ahead and use that code and populate if they want to. But we will get going and started for those of you that are here. So let me just switch screens again. Great, okay, perfect. Okay, so why are you guys here? Like, why pay attention? Why is this important? Why'd you sign up? So first of all, I'm just going to say, I believe that you're here because I believe you're committed to making some time for you. Otherwise you wouldn't be here, right? And you're committed to making your life better, and you're committed to taking some action. So the reason you're here are all those reasons. If that's not why you're here, then you probably won't get much out of the workshop tonight. But if you're like, yeah, that sounds like me, then here's what you're going to walk away with. You're going to know where your life is out of balance, so you know where to put your attention first. You're going to discover how to let go of feeling guilty for taking that time for you. And you're going to have a clear plan of how to get started taking care of you so that you can have more energy and joy in your life. Sound good? Give me like a hands up if it sounds good. Sounded good? People on board? Okay, awesome, great. Okay, so in our time together, because we've only got an hour, I'm going to just barely be touching the surface of this. So I'll tell you at the end of the workshop how we can take it further and how we can work together. But I'm going to get going first, and then we'll talk about all of that. So this is a super important topic for me. You probably noticed on page 2 of the handout, there's this thing called the Wheel of Life. So if you see the handout, it's going to look exactly like what's on your screen. And I'm going to tell you that my wheel was a little bumpy. I know what it's like to have this lopsided wheel. So let me tell you a little about it. So I was exhausted. I was tired. I was burnt out. I was trying to do it all. I was climbing the corporate ladder. I was working long hours. I would come home from work and I was trying to be a mom and a spouse and take care of the house and a good dog owner and all of those things. I was putting in a lot of hours, and my wheel on the finances and career side, it was great, right? I was climbing the corporate ladder and I was doing these things. These were great. But on the other side, things like relationships and my health and joy was really lacking. It wasn't so great. It was created this really bumpy wheel and this really bumpy ride. And what happened for me is when things are out of balance in one area, it starts to impact all the others. So the more exhausted I became, the less I was good at my job because I was so tired. And the more my body started to ache and hurt, and I wasn't able to go work out and do things that helped my body, then I was pretty miserable sitting at my computer all day. So it wasn't very fun. There was not a lot of joy. I wasn't loving life. And what happened for me is my wheel got so lopsided that I almost fell off the whole ride called life, right? It got really bad. I don't want that for you. So we want to take some action before that happens to you. So I'm here because through my struggles, what I figured out, I'm going to share with you. And that is that taking care of me actually helped me be all the things that I wanted to be. By taking that time and finding the joy and refreshing and relaxing and doing those things, I was a better mom. I was a better employee. I was a better spouse. I was a better dog owner. I was better at everything. And in fact, having more energy, I was able to get things done more effectively and efficiently. It was pretty great, all just for taking some time for me. So I want you to get some of that too, because I know from my own experience and working with clients that anyone can find the balance again in their life. I know that it's possible. I know it can happen. You just have to have the right accountability, support, and encouragement to help you along the way. So finding your energy, feeling happy, getting that balance back, it doesn't have to be hard. Sounds pretty good, right? Okay. So in order to do this, though, you have to be willing to embrace the fact that self-care is not selfish. Self-care is not selfish. To actually believe that taking time for you is going to allow you to give more to others. Because if you aren't willing to do this, if you aren't willing to embrace it and believe it, then honestly, you're going to keep feeling exhausted and have this bumpy ride and eventually burn out. So I know that you're all smart people. I know that taking care of you is important. You probably even encourage your friends to do it, right? They come to you and say, I'm so tired. And you're like, just take a break. Does this sound like you? But you don't make you a priority. You don't actually do what you tell others to do. Here's the thing. There's a big difference between knowing and doing. You all know that taking care of you is important. Every one of you is like, yeah, I know. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. But it doesn't change a damn thing to just know it. So are you really doing something about it? I'm going to challenge all you knowers out there to become doers. So are you up for that? Tell me in the comments. Are you up? Are you up for actually doing it, turning it into some action? Let me know. Give me a yes, give me a no, give me a, oh my gosh, this sounds horribly hard. Yes, Sherry. All right, with an exclamation point. Awesome. Yes, all caps, Tina. Okay, you guys are in the right place. I'm loving it. Thank you. Okay. So that was a lot of information. Before we get too far in, we're going to decompress because you guys probably all rushed here after your crazy day and crazy evening. So we're going to do some deep breathing. This is my favorite one. It's called the 5-5-7 breath. And what we're going to do is start to move our body out of the sympathetic, which is the fight, flight, or freeze, and into the parasympathetic, which is our rest and relax mode. That's where we want to be. So you don't have to memorize this, but when we do this, when we move out of that sympathetic into the parasympathetic, we actually are changing our brain waves. We are moving our brain waves from the beta waves to the alpha waves. And this is important because alpha waves are associated with increased creativity. Think like when you meditate or when you're daydreaming or just when you've worked out really hard, how you have this new sense of inspiration and ideas and your mind feels clear. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to allow our brain to relax so that we can get out of what I call the monkey mind and that we can actually be open to the experience that's coming at you in just a minute. So I'm going to ask you if you're comfortable to sit back in your chair, feel your seat on your seat. And if you're okay, go ahead and close your eyes. And if closing your eyes feels scary, you can just gently cast them downward, whatever you're feeling comfortable with. And what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in for a count of 5. We're going to hold it for a count of 5. And then we're going to breathe out for a count of 7. I'm going to walk you through. We're going to do this a couple times. I'm going to walk you through it. Okay. So I want everyone to take a deep breath in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. 4, 3, 2, 1, and let it out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to do it again. In for 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. 4, 3, 2, 1, and let it out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. I want you to keep doing that. I'm not going to count for you. I want you to breathe in. And as you breathe in, I just want you to notice your body. I want you to feel how supported you are sitting down. Hold it, and then you're going to let it out. And as you release, I just want you to imagine you're letting go of any of the worries from today, just for a moment, just for this time. You're going to breathe in again. And I want you to just imagine yourself opening up to this possibility, to this time, to getting creative and inspired. And then as you breathe out, I want you to just notice if there's any tension in your body and just let it go. Breathe in and hold it. And as you breathe out, I want you to loosen your jaw I want you to let your shoulders come down away from your ears, kind of rest back. I want you to really sink into that seat that you're sitting on. And one more breath in, just really being here, being present in this moment, letting everything else go, knowing it'll be there when we're done, but there's nothing else you need to do right now. But just be here and be open to whatever happens, open to the possibilities and being curious. And as you're ready, you can go ahead and just kind of gently open your eyes slowly. And we're going to move into our activity. So this is an activity. I don't want you to overthink it. I want you to go with your first impulse and tune into your gut, not the shoulds, but your guts. So we're going to go to the wheel of life. So hopefully you've found your workbook or you've drawn a picture on a piece of paper and you're ready to go. So if you did draw a picture, draw like a wheel and we're going to make spokes. So the first one that we're going to do, I'm going to give you a little information about each one. So don't get ahead of me. Don't think you know the answer. I want you to listen and think about it as we go. So the very first thing is health. And so I'm going to take you, so remember how I put a dot on the spokes? I don't know if I can go backwards. Let's see. Oh, I can. So you're going to put a little dot where you think. So a dot way out on this outer end means things are perfect in this area. I wouldn't change a thing. Everything is dandy and great. And a dot that's closer in, like this one, means that, oh, things aren't quite so good. So the closer into here it goes, it means things aren't so great. And the farther out here it goes, it means everything is awesome and hunky-dory. Okay, so that's how you're going to fill in your wheel. So we're going to talk about health first. Actually, if you guys were drawing a picture, I'm going to leave this up for a second so that you can copy it if you need to, if you didn't get that workbook. So the first one we're going to do is health. So here's what I want you to think about. How much sleep are you getting? 7 to 9 hours is best. How much water are you drinking? Half your body weight in ounces of water is best. So if you're 150 pounds, you should be drinking 75 ounces of water. Are you eating clean, whole food sources? How many chemicals might be in your personal care products and cleaners? And if you're like, oh, what? I've never looked, then it's probably a lot. What's your stress level like? How much fresh air and sunshine are you getting each day or each week? How often are you on technology? How many hours a day? So as you think about all those things, I want you to put your dot in the health wheel, in the spoke. There we go. Okay. We're going to move on to physical activity. So we're going here. So I want you to think about how often you move your body. Do you have a routine for physical activity? How long have you been doing it? Is it brand new or has it been in place for months and months? How do you feel when you do something physical? Does it feel more tiring or does it feel energizing? Do you like to move your body or does it feel like a chore? Do you have ways to move that inspire you and feel good? Okay. Let's go on to home cooking. So think about how often you cook at home. What are you cooking? Is it from a box? Is it pre-made? Is it whole ingredients? Are you utilizing fresh foods, canned foods, frozen foods? Like what does that look like? Do you experiment with recipes? Do you feel at ease in your kitchen? Do you like being in your kitchen? Confession, I did not used to like being in my kitchen. That's changed. But you can see, I was like, oh no. Okay, so that's home cooking. Okay, ready to move on? We're going to move on to education. So think about if you're happy with what you know. Do you have a degree? Do you want a degree? Do you aspire to learn new things or take your life in a new direction? Are you feeling content with where you're at with your current level of education? Are you feeling prepared in your career or where you see yourself? Okay. So now we're going to move into career, kind of just touched on it. So think about how fulfilled you feel. Do you feel challenged? Do you feel like you're using your talents? Do you feel enticed to stretch and grow? How engaged do you feel with your work, with your coworkers, the environment, the company? Do you feel authentic at work? So is it in alignment? Is your work in alignment with who you really are and how you show up in and out of work? Is there ambition? Is there good communication? Do you feel dedicated, committed? What does that look like? So go ahead and place your dot. So let's move to finances here. I'm moving kind of fast because I don't want you to overthink it. I want you to just gut decision, right? Okay, so think about how clear you feel on where your current finances stand. Do you know what you'd like to achieve? Savings or investments, giving to charity, saving for retirement? Do you know what expenses you have? Do you have financial goals? Are you reaching your financial goals? Then creativity. So think about how often you get to use your imagination. Do you get to create original ideas? How often are you artistic? So that could be like art or poetry or making things or experimenting. Can you take new things and make them a reality? Do you have that vision? Do you solve problems with ease? Do you generate new solutions? Are you able to see things in a new way? It's kind of that curiosity that we were talking about. Moving on to spirituality. Do you feel connected to that which is greater? Maybe God, the universe, something else, but something greater than you. Do you see the highs and lows of your life as having meaning and purpose? Do you have a community of like-minded individuals around to share your thoughts and feelings? How often do you practice gratitude? Do you feel it daily? Does it feel safe to surrender knowing something greater is in control? So releasing anger and pain and distrust and allowing abundance and faith and hope and forgiveness to flow into your life. So just marking that. Okay. So the next one is joy. So do you feel pleasure and happiness? And how often? What recently has brought you joy and a moment in time when you actually felt delighted? How often do you feel joy for others? Joy is getting outside of just ourselves. Happiness is our own, but joy is like feeling this global joy for other people. It's not just about us. Does your soul feel satisfied? So then moving to social life, just a few left. So think about the time you spend with others outside of work. Do you have friends? I can tell you when I was working a million hours, I didn't have any friends. I didn't have time for friends. Do you want to feel more connected to friends or people that have similar interests? Do you get out and meet new people? Do you try new experiences? Are you doing things with others that bring you joy and pleasure? So that shared joy and pleasure time. Do you feel energized after getting together with friends, or do you feel drained? Some of us are introverts, some of us are extroverts, so we all feel different when we're with people. Then moving to relationships. So I want you to think about all the different types of relationships. So romantic, friends, family, colleagues, so relationships in general. How is communication? Do you have trust and shared pleasure? Do you have healthy boundaries in place? How is your relationship with yourself? Do you love and respect who you are? Do you trust yourself? Do you feel appreciated by others in your life? And is there this sense of balance with giving and receiving? So what you give, you're getting back to a certain degree. And then I want you to think about your home environment. So this isn't necessarily like home cooking or things like that. It's your home environment. So do you like your home? Like, do you feel comfortable in your home? Do you feel relaxed when you're there? Does it feel clean or organized? Is it aesthetically pleasing? Does it work for your lifestyle? Does it feel like your sanctuary or a safe place? Do the people, things, or other beings in it bring you, I giggle, but like I'm thinking pets, dogs, like whatever, right? Do they bring you joy, comfort, and happiness? Okay. So I want you to take a moment and connect your dots around the wheel. And then Renee is going to launch a poll here. And I want to hear from you. Is your wheel perfectly round? Is it lopsided? Is it all over the place? What does that look like? So it should hopefully come up on the screen in a second here when she launches it. Yes, perfectly. So go ahead. Again, it's not going to tell us who's what, but go ahead and answer. And then in a minute, we'll see how everybody's wheels are looking here. I'm guessing for most of you, there's probably a few indents. I don't know very many people. I haven't had anybody have a perfectly round wheel. You guys might surprise me. I mean, I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? So the results should come up at some point. And I know those of you who are on Facebook can't do some of the interaction, but that's okay. You can probably type in the comments. Okay, so I think it'll tell us. I think we can share results, and we'll find out shortly.
Just let me know when you want me to end. I tried to answer, I can't because.
Yeah, go ahead and end, and let's see what happens.
You want me to end it? Okay, or give it.
You guys, hopefully you guys answer it now. All of you participating, answer it now. Okay,
well,
I'm gonna trust you.
Mine is, I guess, lopsided. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of be one. It's kind of like it's better than it was. I've done this before, so
good.
Okay,
yeah,
I will end the poll.
Great. And that's it. Our wheels change. Like this isn't static. Yeah, all over the place. Yep. Perfect. Okay, great. I mean, I know that you might be feeling that that's not great, but it actually is because it gives us a place to move forward from. And like I said, our wheels change all the time, and that's okay. It's this constant like rebalancing thing, and that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this here real quick. All right. So we can see that there's typically areas of life that are needing some attention. So you've got this information. You're like, great. What do I do with it, Amber? We're going to do that now. We're going to turn this information that you've just discovered into some transformational action. Remember at the beginning, I said, I believe you're here because you're committed to doing something. Okay, now's your time. So I want you to pick one area that you identified as needing attention, not the one you should. Don't be like, oh, I better exercise more. I want you to pick the one that feels enlivening. If you're like, I need to be more creative, right? Like I want it to be intriguing and enlivening to you, not the shoulds, but the wants. Okay, everybody have their one area. So I want you to write down, if you're in the workbook, it's page 3, I think, maybe page 2. I want you to write down all the things that come to mind, what you want for the area, not what's wrong. I don't want to be like, well, I'm going to use physical activity for a minute. I don't want to be like, well, I should be exercising. I never get out of my chair. I forget to take a lunch. I don't want you to do that. I want you to tell me what you want, which is like, I want to be moving my body every day, or I want to be moving my body on the weekends, or I want to be getting more fresh air. I want you to tell me what you want. Maybe under finances, you want a savings account or a raise or to take a vacation. Okay, so I'm going to be quiet for a minute and I'm going to let you put all the things you want about this, the vision of what you wish it was. And if you're stuck, let me know in the chat and we can work together on it. Oh, Sherry, I had an upside down wonky heart. That's kind of interesting. Wonky heart. I wonder what that's telling us. Okay. And I don't want you to stop. If you think that you've got it all, you haven't. Let your brain get creative. The more space we give it, the more it thinks about or comes up with ideas, the more it can think. I don't know. I didn't say that quite right, but you guys got it. So I'm going to give you just like 30 more seconds. I don't want you to give up. I want you to keep thinking about what you want it to look like. Okay, so now I want you to think about what would be the best part if this were true? Like if you had this vision that you created, what's the best part about that? What do you notice? Maybe it's that you're smiling. Maybe that it's that you get to take a break. Maybe it's you get to give more to others. I don't know. What is the best part about having this? And I want you to get really specific on this best part. Like, what do you see or what do you feel when you think of the best part? Maybe it's you have new clothes that feel really great. Maybe it's that you can smell the ocean on your tropical vacation that you're taking. Maybe you're riding with the top down in your new convertible and you're feeling the wind in your hair. Like you get the picture. So engage your senses. I want you to, if you have to, close your eyes and just think about, if I had this, what do I notice? What do I see? What do I smell? What do I taste? Maybe it's like amazing French food because you're in France. I don't know. Maybe it's, you know, you get to feel your dog's fur because you're actually petting and having time for your pet. I have dogs. That's why I keep talking about dogs. It could be your cat. It could be your parrot. I don't know. Okay. I want you to create this vision, what it's really like. And then who might benefit if this was true? Who in your life might actually also get something out of this vision happening? I know for me, it was my husband and son really enjoyed the fact that I was a nicer, happier person. Because if, what's the old saying? Like, if mom's not happy, no one's happy. And I'm just saying that for me because I'm a mom. Some of you might be a dad, and it's probably true too. Can give more things to your kiddos, whatever the case is. So who else could benefit? I want you to really think about this. Who in your life benefits if this vision were true? There's probably more people than you think that would benefit. Okay. So you've got your vision. You've got what you see, what you feel, what you hear, what you taste. You figured out who else might benefit, what's the best part. You've got this all figured out, right? So it's one small step you could take this week that would move you in the direction of your vision. Now, maybe it's foregoing a coffee so you can put the money in savings, or maybe it's buying some fresh fruits and vegetables to eat for snacks, or asking your boss what they think your strengths are and your weaknesses so that you can grow in your career. Maybe it's calling a friend or having a dance party to move your body and get some energy going. I want you guys to be really realistic. So going from 0 to 60, it's not going to lead to habit change. It's not going to lead to lasting change. In fact, you'll probably fail if you're like, I'm going to exercise every day this week. No, you're not. If you're not exercising any of the days, you're not going to exercise every day. Don't do that. Set yourself up for success. So you're going to make it measurable. I want you to consider if you're going to do this thing daily or a few times a week. I want you to write down what time of day. I am not a morning person. So if I was using physical activity and I said, I'm going to exercise in the morning because that's what everybody tells me I should do, that's when everybody says you should do it, I would fail every time. Snooze wins. I can't do that. I know that about myself. I have to exercise in the evening or on my lunch hour. So I want you to really think about a small step, keeping it simple, because a step in the right direction, any step, a small step is better than not. And it's better than failing. So small step, how many times a week or day? What time of the day are you going to do it? Okay. If anyone's stuck and you need some help, let me know in the chat box. Don't shoot for the moon. Talking small and easy. Have I said that enough? I know you're all overachievers. I understand. I've been there, but I don't want you to overachieve on this one because failing is not overachieving. Going one small step at a time, that's achievement. That's progress. And we want to see some progress for you. Okay. Now I want you to think about I think we're on page 3 or 4, is what do you need to let go of in order to make this small step happening? Because you see, if there wasn't something to let go of, you'd already be doing this. So there's something that's kind of stopping you, blocking you, something that you need to let go of. Maybe it's a limiting belief, like I'm not good enough to advance in my career. I'm not smart enough to go back to school. I don't know how to cook, so there's no way I can be healthy. So maybe it's a limiting belief. Maybe it's some self-criticism. I'm never good enough. I'm too fat to do it. I'm never going to be able to change. Look at all these years I've tried and I can't. I've read every book. Nothing's changed. Maybe it's worry about what others might say or think or do, right? Oh my gosh, if I actually take my lunch at work, what's my boss going to think of me? Is he going to think I'm less of an employee? Am I going to get in trouble? Oh my goodness, what are my coworkers going to say if I actually take a break? Maybe it's something like that. So I want you to really think about what you need to let go of. What's stopping you to help you open up, free you to take this step? Okay, I'm going to be quiet again for like a minute. Okay. So now the last thing we're going to do is what needs to be in place to set you up to have the success? Because again, if these things were already in place, you'd be doing it. So something is missing, something isn't quite right, something needs to shift. So maybe it's blocking time on your calendar so that no one can book a meeting during your lunch hour. Maybe it's finding a babysitter so you can do something, go out on a date with your husband, right? Or your spouse. Maybe it's planning meals in advance. Maybe Sundays are your day to sit down and plan meals and you need to block that time. Or maybe it's buying that amazing workout outfit that you actually feel good in so that you want to go work out. So what can you have in place so that you can't fail? Just this week, we're just going to start small. Just this week or next week. What do you need to have in place to set you up for inevitable success? You guys all still good? Let me know in the chat if you're having troubles. And the last thing we're going to do is who or what in your life can hold you accountable? So maybe it's asking your partner for help. Maybe it's you setting an alarm 10 minutes earlier to brew your coffee so that you don't have to stop at the coffee shop. Maybe it's a close friend or coworker that you can share with and who'll help you do it, who will motivate you and encourage you. Who can help hold you accountable? Who can you tell that you're going to do this? Who can be someone to be like, hey, Amber, you said you were going to do this, did you? Who can that be? Write down that person. Oh, the book is not loading as PDF. True, I'm sorry that it's not loading. I don't know why. It should load as a PDF for Adobe Reader. We can follow up and try to email it to you and see if that works differently. Yeah, we will do that. Great. Okay. So we're going to pull this all together. Sorry, there we go. We are going to pull this all together so that we have it all in one place. So it's my favorite saying. Well, one of my favorites. I've got a couple good ones. If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. So we are going to make your vision a reality. So this is like your hang up on your bathroom mirror to remind you. So what is your action step? You're going to write it in on this page. What did you decide your action step is? Go ahead and rewrite it. Yeah, Tina, we'll figure out how to get it to you. I wonder why. Okay, then you're going to realistically, remember, starting small, small steps, not every day. How many times are you going to do this? So it might be one time per day for 20 minutes. That's an example, one time per day for 20 minutes. Or 3 times per week for 30 minutes, or whatever it is. Go ahead and put in how many times a day, or how many times per interval, and for how long. So number of times per day, week, month, for how many minutes. Okay. How are you going to set yourself up for inevitable success? So what do you have to let go of? What do you have to do? What do you need to do this week to make sure that you cannot get out of it, that you're committing to yourself to do it. And then who's going to hold you accountable? Who'd you pick? And then here's the thing. You can't have someone hold you accountable if you don't tell them that you've picked them to hold you accountable. They cannot read your mind, no matter how much we want people to. So when are you going to tell them? When are you going to ask them for support? Write the day and time. Might be right after this. I'm going to go talk to my person right after I get off the phone, or right after I get off the workshop, the Zoom, whatever we're on. Okay, so now I'm going to give you, and I'm serious about this. I'm going to give you a minute. I'm going to be quiet. I want you to schedule in when you're going to talk to your person, and I'm going to ask you to schedule in whatever you decided. So if you decided to do your action step 3 times per week for 30 minutes, you're going to go right now to your calendar and you're going to block your time. So I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to set the timer and I'm going to give you a quiet minute, maybe even a minute and a half. I'm going to give you a minute and a half to get this scheduled in. I want you to take the time now to block out your calendar, because otherwise you're going to be like, I'll do it later, and then nothing's going to happen. So do it now. So I'm going to be quiet. Okay, you guys got it all in there? You good? Let me know in the chat. You done? Give me a yes if you finished. Yes, thank you. Perfect. Everyone else, you got yourself scheduled in? Good. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. All right. So let's have some fun. We're going to go back to Menti. So grab your phone. Try not to unplug yourself out of this. I want you to go back to Menti, www.menti.com. You're going to use code 4931707. And let me, there we go. Let me put this one up. Tell me your goal this week. This is the ultimate accountability. It won't say your name, so I'm actually not going to know who's who, but tell me what your goal is this week. I want to see where we're at with things. Again, it's not going to say your name, so I can't be like, oh, Amber, you said. So let's see what you got. I'll give you a minute. Stretch every day for 15 minutes. Okay, my question to you is, how often do you stretch now? And if it's once or twice a week, then every day might be a little lofty and you're going to want to back down so that you can be successful. You can overachieve and do more than you say, but this way you're failing if you miss one day. And that's not what we want. That's demotivating. So if you're only doing a few, I'm going to encourage you to change this to say something like stretch 3 days a week for 15 minutes. And then if you do every day, great, you've got an A+. Okay, we want to set ourselves up to be successful. We want to energize ourselves and not feel bad about ourselves. So we're going to start small. Okay, anybody else want to share? And so you're doing great. I'm just helping you with some of the things that I see with my clients that then leads to them not succeeding. And that's not what we want. So I want to help you be successful. I want to help you start small so that you can get to the goal that you want to get to. And it's okay if it takes you a few months to get there. Totally fine. Because every movement in the right direction, in the direction of your goal, is movement and is positive. Is anyone else willing to share? All right. Well, you can always message me if you want me to know and if you want any help. Oh, find one more networking group. Great. Awesome goal. One more, just one. And hopefully you wrote down by a certain date. Yeah, DIY videos 3 times 15 minutes. Awesome. So find one more find one more networking group, give yourself a date. Block out time to actually look. So your key is to block out, it might be something that's actually more refined in the sense of spend 15 minutes 3 times this week looking for another networking group. Because that's in your control. Finding one is tricky, but your control is to block 15 minutes. Like I said, 3, use your number. I'm just making this up, but 3 times this week to look for another networking group. Start watching DIY videos 3 times, 15 minutes. Great. What time of day? So in the morning, on your lunch break, in the evening. So be specific, get really specific and block that time out so that it's yours. That's now the time that you watch these videos and you start to make it a habit. Awesome. These are great. Okay. If there's any questions on some of those refinements, let me know in the chat and I'm happy to do it. But you guys are on the right track and you've got some great goals going. Okay. So I want you to sit back again. Sit back in your chair. We just did a lot of work. I want you to go ahead and put your pen down, put your phone down, put your hands down. And I want you to just close your eyes or gently cast them downwards. And I want you to find your feet, find your seat again. And I want you to take 2 of those deep breaths that we did, the in for 5 and hold for 5 and out for 7. Okay. And as you're breathing, I just want you to imagine it's 1 week from now. You've successfully done what you wrote down. I want you to breathe into that. I want you to see yourself having accomplished it, not doing it, not watching the videos or searching for the networking group, but I want you to actually see that it's done. You crossed it off. You got through it. You did it. I want you to feel that feeling as you keep breathing of pride in yourself. You accomplished this goal. You have this sense of renewed energy and kind of like inspiration. You have a smile on your face. Go ahead and let yourself smile a little now. Just let the corners of your mouth lift up into a little smile as you're imagining. Your life feels a little more balanced. You feel a little more balanced. You feel clear. You feel focused. You see that this is done and accomplished, something that you said you wanted to do. So does this accomplishment feel like it's in line with the person you want to be, the life you want to have? Does it feel like it's bringing things into more balance for you? Just tell me in the chat box. Does it feel good? Does it feel like what you want? Does it feel in alignment? Can you see yourself accomplishing it, not doing it, but done with it? Accomplish it. You've stretched multiple times this week. You researched feels motivating. Thank you. Good. You you've researched for networking groups. You've taken that action, that search. I feel happy. Awesome. You started watching these videos so that you can do these things that you're wanting to be doing. Awesome. Good. Yeah. So hang on to that feeling for a second. So now that you're feeling this clear and inspired, and let me get myself back to here for a second before I move on. Okay, so now that you're feeling clear and inspired, here's my question to you. How are you going to stay focused and motivated when you end this workshop and life starts coming at you fast, right? You've got competing things vying for your attention: home, work, family, friends, pets. The reality is the focus you have right now can go out the window within minutes of leaving this session. You can be derailed. So at this point, I want you to identify something very important. I'm going to give you a pause here. What is your support system to help you implement and stay on track? You need to identify this. It's really important. What is your support system to help you implement and stay on track? So some of you might have somebody in mind. Some of you might be working with a coach or someone, like that you're already working with. But for those of you who don't have someone like that, I invite you to consider working with me. So it's not for everyone. But if finding balance, if increasing your energy, if getting the joy back is a priority and everything you've done so far isn't working, then we should talk. This is for those of you that are sick and tired of feeling this bumpy ride and you know it's time to do something different, something you've never tried before, something new, to get curious. So schedule a call with me if you want to explore working together further. It's free. It's a free hour with me to talk. You've kind of seen what it's like, but there are a limited number because my schedule is busy too. So you're going to want to get your spot if you are interested. I'm going to tell you that it's not for everyone. So these are really for those of you who realize that something needs to change in your life right now. You're ready to try new things and get curious and do it differently. And you're committed to taking action and creating time for those areas that are out of balance. So it's a great option if you're feeling stuck, you need a reboot, or you're just like, I don't even know what to do. I'm not sure where to go. I know I need something, but I can't figure out what it is. So if you're feeling intrigued, but you're still like, oh, Amber, what is this really about? I'm going to tell you what happens on the call right here. So I walk you through a process so that you can understand where you need to focus first, so you can get your energy and happiness back fast. And then we talk about how my programs can actually help you get there faster. Remember, I talked about having the support, encouragement, accountability, the right things in place to help you be successful. So to schedule a call, I'm just going to have you, I'm going to stop sharing for a second. And I am going to put a link. Well, maybe I'm going to do that. Maybe I'm not. Hold on. Okay, I've lost my things. So just a minute here. Okay, I am going to put it in the chat right here. Okay. And if you are interested in booking a call, then you are welcome to get that figured out right now. You pick your date and time. I send you a Zoom link and bam, you've got your call, easy peasy. So if you're like, oh, that sounds like a really good idea, but I'm just not sure, I'm going to do it later, I'm going to give you some incentive, because later doesn't happen for a lot of us. We get busy. So I want you to not lose this momentum. I want you to not lose this inspiration. And if you schedule a call in the next 30 minutes or so, I'm actually going to give you 2 free meditations to help you be calm and present during your day. They're under 10 minutes, and they're just really great opportunities to help you find that calm, help you find that relaxation, and make your day just a little bit better. But you've got to schedule in the next 30 minutes or so, because that's your incentive to take action now. That's what it's all about, converting you knowers into doers. Okay, so if you have questions on that, purpose of the call or how to get scheduled, let me know in the chat. And here's what I want you to remember today. If you take one thing away, it's the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. It's by Walt Disney, who, I don't know, if you ask me, knew how to have some fun. Just going to say that. Okay, so you get to decide if now is the time to create a once and for all kind of shift in your life to get some balance back. And this is how you can go ahead and also get in touch with me. I've got a free ebook. I'm on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, so you're welcome to reach out. And I've just had so much fun working through this with you all. I hope you've had fun too. And we'll get the workbook to some of you that couldn't get it open. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened.
Well, thank you. Thank you. That was great. Yeah. And I'm not sure, because I was able to open it. I tried from the download too. So I'm not sure what happened, but we'll definitely get it to you. I can either send it out with the replay, and then you can send it as well with your thank you email if you like. Yeah. And then I'll get it onto Facebook as well for those who watched this on Facebook. So, but that was really, really good. I really like the workbook. I love the Wheel of Life. I've done it. I can show you I had to draw mine. I should have these things because I love doing them. Yeah. Where's my thing? I don't think you can see it.
Oh, there's we can.
Yeah, it's a little tiny paper, but it's it looks a lot better than it used to. I do this every so often to see where I am in life. And they have these wheels for different things too. This is like the general one, which I love, but yeah, it's really good. But I loved your questions in the workbook. And so thank you. It's very, very informative. And what you said in the beginning, you talked about self-care. And I have a saying that I always say, self-care equals self-respect. And it's so true. Like, you have to take care of yourself and put yourself first. Absolutely. And I hear so many people that, can't say no, or, things are asked of them and they just do it. It's like, you gotta put yourself first. It's just like that plane analogy, right? You want to put your life mask on first before you help others.
Yep.
It's the same kind of thing. So it was
Yeah.
great.
So don't forget the people who are going to benefit from it, right? That's where we get to release some of that guilt, when we realize, oh my goodness, if I'm a more refreshed, energized, relaxed person, it actually helps me be better in everything. Like, it's not just selfish. It's not about me. This makes me a better fill in the blank.
Yep, exactly. Now, before I don't want to take up too much time, but does anybody have any questions? You're more than welcome to ask anything that you didn't get to ask during the talk. You can raise your hand if you want and come on and ask any questions of Amber while we have her. Otherwise, I would definitely take advantage of the free hour, because an hour is a long time, and you can really get, as a coach myself, you can get a lot done in an hour. You can really get laser focused session in. So it's actually really nice of you to offer free 1 hour, because that is, you can get a lot done. Absolutely. So I don't see any questions coming through on either platform, but if there are no questions, we can go ahead and end this, and you guys will get a replay anyway. Yeah, I thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I hope I hope all the attendees enjoyed it. Thank you for joining us. And I appreciate it for taking the time.
Thank you. Have a great evening, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.